what we do. Sports Rap Podcast right here on Heat 100 Radio. It's your boy, Sports Rap D. Frank is in the building.
Yes, sir.
And listen, now we are going to get into this Robert Sarver little, whatever you want to call it, dust up, if you will, whatever you want. Like I said, whatever you want to call it. Take your choice.
Right.
Take your pick. Use the word that you desire. But one of the things that I felt necessary to bring the story to the table was the fact that there's a lot of back and forth with this story, and it's funny because you got one side, NBA Players Association, who like I mentioned to you in my opening, has an executive director who feels like he should be banned for life.
Right.
Then you have the current commissioner of the league playing both sides of the fence, if you will, where he's saying, okay, this is the punishment, A, B, and C, whatever. But then you also go and you try to say, oh, well, this man has done so much. He's done enough. He's grown and this and that. Now, again, for me, when you say comments like that, when you make comments like that, it means that you had some type of idea. Let's go there. I'm not going to say that you definitely knew, but I'm going to say you had some type of ideas. You heard some type of rumblings of some things that might have been going on in that situation to make you say those types of things, or like I say, to make those types of comments. But what he did was there was racism, workplace misconduct. He talked down to women, used a lot of misogynistic comments. They even, members of the organization even mentioned that he used the N-word. They're saying multiple times. So that means we don't know how many times he actually used it. It could have been none, like they said, multiple times. So his punishment was a 1-year ban and $10 million fine. A lot of people don't think that's enough. You even have a minority owner from the same organization who's calling for his resignation, Robert Sarver's resignation.
Right.
Now, he owns 2 teams there. He owns the Phoenix Suns and the Phoenix Mercury. Chris Paul, a player who played for that organization, made a slight statement in defense of Robert Sarver in regards of the punishment that he got. LeBron James also made comments in regards to the punishment that he got. So I don't know what they know, if they know anything from the other side, and we'll probably never know if or what they know. But they have stood or made comments in regards to his defense, in regards as well to the punishment. A lot of people most recently have been trying to compare this particular situation with the particular situation from back when with the Suns owner. Okay. In an article I read, I did agree with one point that Adam Silver mentioned or brought up about the comparison of these two. One of the things he mentioned was that this is going by the word of mouth of people that were in the situation, which is always good, which is normally pretty solid information. The situation with the Clippers and where he was forced to sell the team and be banned for life was somewhat blatant and no regard. And then there was a lot of extra audio that put that dark cloud on that situation. So again, not saying that I condone what's going on here, but this situation is not as bad. Not saying that this is any better because of the situation, but if you got to pick the lesser of 2 evils, this Robert Sarver would be, in my opinion, the lesser of the 2 evils right now. But it's hard for me, without bias, to give an opinion and say if I think that the 1 year ban and the $10 million fine is enough.
It's not heavy enough. I don't think it is.
I can't honestly say. I mean, I could very easily say, like I said, with some bias, I could say no. It's definitely not enough because of what I was given. Because of what I was given, the information I was given, and like I just mentioned to you, the misogynistic stuff, using of the N word and the racial stuff. So you all know. Anybody that listens to my show, anybody that listens to this podcast, follows me on social media, you know how I feel about those three categories. The racial epithets and all of that stuff. The mistreatment of women, you know how I feel about that. And just the blatant disrespect from people who think that they are better because they have a little bit more money or because they have a position of power and they think that they're better and they can belittle anyone else. I have very strong issues with that. So again, like I say, me asking me if this is enough,
I don't think it is.
I would answer it with the bias. I'm just going to be brutally honest. I would answer it with the bias. A couple of biases because of the way I feel about those three categories and me being an African American male. And how I feel, like I said, mostly how I feel about the three different aspects. But again, we're only going to know what they give us. Okay, like, and this investigation is going back to 2021. So all this means now is when it comes out now, this means that there was a lot of truth to it, and there were some things found out that kind of rubbed some people the wrong way. The executive director of the NBA Players Association made some strong statements and some strong points where she made it a point, and it was slightly on the racism side where, and I'm paraphrasing here, so don't take these are my words, and I'm paraphrasing what she said, that this gentleman should not be in the position to lead young black men. And she said it that way because the majority of the athletes in the NBA are African American males. 80%. Okay, so let alone be a leader of men in general, but and then a leader of African American males. There are even people within the state of Phoenix, the city of Phoenix, rather, the state of Arizona, within the city of Phoenix, who want a stiffer punishment for this gentleman. I feel like,
I think so.
If I could take a minute right now, remove my biases based on the information that I received, the information that we all received.
3 to 4 years, at least.
I can't necessarily say I would go with a lifetime ban, but I would be at more than a year. Because the same way I felt about other situations, when we talked about the NFL, people were talking about boycotting and this and that, and I said the way you have to get to them is you have to get them in the pockets. And for guys like this who are multimillionaires, even billionaires, you leave them away, pull them away from what they do, pull them away from their money maker, and it causes people to either change, get worse, but in some type of way, it gives people a reality check. And I think a lot of times when you have people with this type of power in these type of situations, I think they really do need that reality check. Whatever way it comes, they need that reality. Like they need that slap in the face, if you will, to bring them back to earth somewhat. Because a lot of times when you get people that get this type of money, like I said, they feel like they can do whatever they want, say whatever they want. So their earth or their sense of reality is a little different than what we like to say the average Joe or the common working man or woman. Okay, so their reality is a little skewed. Their sense of reality is a little skewed there. So sometimes that slap in the face can give them a look at the other side for a second. And like I said, it usually makes them change. Sometimes it makes them change for the good. Sometimes it makes them get even worse. But the whole point is it does make some type of change. I kind of agree with what everybody's saying about it being somewhat of a soft punishment, because now that I'm deciphering the information in my head, I'm listening to what I was told. Like they said, the misogynistics, the racial stuff, using the N word,
it's not good. It's all
things of
bad
that
stuff.
nature. Now, like I see, where there's no place for that in any professional sport, for that matter.
Nope.
There's no place for that in society, and we know it still goes on, but it's stuff that we have to deal with. But at that level, you are dealing with the people who help you make your money. This goes from the athletes to the administrative staff,
right,
to the concession staff, the people that work at the stadiums, and all of this kind of stuff.
They're making money for you.
People that work in that organization, and you're making them feel less of a human. You're making them feel uncomfortable.
Right.
And it's no room for that. So again, you know, he got the 1 year ban, the $10 million fine. You know, I can, like I said, I can honestly sit here right now and say, take my biases out of the picture. I could say, yeah, it probably should have been more.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think I can go as far as, like I said, thinking about this situation and then thinking about the LA Clippers owner situation.
Yeah.
As of right now, I don't think it was that far, so I don't think the ban for life is warranted. But like you said, it's an ongoing investigation. So who knows? Like I said, it's the investigation that's been going on since 2021. So that's a year. And now the penalty is coming up and it's hitting the news now. So again, like I said, all that means to me, or that gives me every inclination that they found something. Something that they did not like. Something that could very arguably have brought some light, some bad light to the NBA. And again, like I always have said about the NFL,
right,
the billion-dollar conglomerate is going to do whatever they need to do to protect the house. So they're going to push what they found, and Robert Sarver is going to be a story. And I mean, you can look at it and arguably debate about it and say, oh, he's the scapegoat. But again, like I said, we will only know what they tell us. And what they tell us, the information they give us, and what they have given us is enough for a lot of people to say, oh yeah, he should be suspended. And then you'll go into that second argument where, well, is this enough? Is the fine enough and all that? And then after that point, they'll find something else. Along with the story, as long as it's being investigated, it'll be something. It'll be something to come up that will be debatable in the story.
Right.
But you know, it's a little bit more in a small way to this story. And what I mean when I say a little bit more, it's a little bit more in depth. And I think you can take this story on the lines of wanting to know more right now, because like I said, you got a minority owner that's calling for his guy's resignation. Somebody that worked with this guy side by side, literally or pretty much every day. So you know, if he's calling for his resignation, the city of Phoenix is calling for a possible stiffer fine. Their sponsor is threatening to remove themselves from the jersey if something else doesn't happen to this man. So with all of this coming out, with these different facets that are close to the situation, close to the organization, leads me, as I always say, leads me once again to believe that there is some truth here. It's a lot of truth here. And like I said, they kind of sugar-coated it. Like they say in football, gave us the vanilla game plan for preseason about what was actually said, when they just made it basic and made it bland. Misogyny, misconduct, racial, and used the N-word. So like I said, when you got somebody that's you're almost your right-hand man within your organization that's calling for your resignation. You got the NBA Players Association executive directors who are calling for a stiffer fine and a ban for life. You got the city that you represent, that your organization represents, calling for stiffer fines and whatever. You've got a sponsor threatening to remove themselves from sponsorship of your organization. Says a lot. Folks, that's all for that right now. And like I said, I posted this articles, I believe I did. If not, I'll get to it later, you know. But you can Google it yourself. Just look up Robert Sarver and you can get all the information. We can get all the information that I got, the information that they're going to give us right now. Because, you know, they're only going to give us what they want to give us, what they feel like we should know.
Right.
So, now, folks, it's 11:45.
Right.
Tom Brady, come on back. Robert Reeves, haven't seen you this morning. Nate Phillips, haven't seen you this morning. So, guys, if you ready, if you really tuned in, tune in. You know, like I said, I talked about Tom. Tom left his comments early, and I always acknowledge people when they let us know that they are tuned in.
Right.
Week 2 NFL is coming to a close tonight.
Right.
2 Monday night games tonight.
Birds.
We'll talk about those 2 Monday night games in a few. But got to give you scores from week 2. Going back to Thursday, September the 15th. And you know what's crazy? Like, I'm at the Drake Tavern Thursday, and it's funny. This year, I think they made some changes. Like, I know last year they started a couple games on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
they started getting Amazon Prime. But I know at one point, or I believe at one point, I'm almost certain at one point during the season when they did that last year, that they was also like on NFL Network and somewhere else. Like, so it was like Amazon Prime and somewhere else. It wasn't just solely Amazon Prime. But I looked and I heard the advertisements for this coming Thursday's game as well. And again, it's Amazon Prime only.
Why do you do that?
So I don't know. I mean, I guess they struck a deal with Amazon Prime or whatever. But it looks like these Thursday games are going to be solely on Amazon Prime, probably until late in the season when they get to the Thursday, Saturday games, or whatever. But you know, we'll definitely. So Thursday, Chargers, Chiefs. The Chargers fall in that game 27-24. Again, like I said earlier, good game.
Yes, it was.
Week 2, really good game. Like I said, we had some really good games on week 1, but we had some really good games week 2 as well. So surprisingly, some good games. And it's like already week 2, and we've had some games that we'll be talking about all season long. Right. Going into yesterday, the Jets get past the Cleveland Browns 31-30. The Washington Commanders fall to the Detroit Lions 36-27. Tampa Bay, Tom Brady as a Buck finally gets a win over the New Orleans Saints 20-10. The Giants surprisingly are 2-0. 19-16, they take that game over the Carolina Panthers. New England at Pittsburgh. New England takes that game 17-14. Indianapolis gets blanked by Jacksonville 24-zip. Baltimore, Miami. Another
good game.
Really good game. Miami takes that game. Robert Reeves is now tuned in. Miami takes that game 42-38. Late drive to get that touchdown to win that game. Atlanta falls to the Rams 31-27. San Francisco gets up on Seattle 27-7. Dallas gets by Cincinnati 20-17. I want to talk a little bit about that game too in a few. Denver gets by Houston 16-9. Las Vegas, the Raiders fall to the Arizona Cardinals 29-23 in overtime. And Sunday night's nightcap, Green Bay gets by Chicago at home in Lambeau 27-10. So let's go to this Cincinnati Dallas Cowboys
game right there, man. I don't know.
I didn't pick Dallas to win that game.
I picked the Bengals. 8.
I didn't pick them to win. Like I said, I remember Cooper Rush. I don't remember him being a significant difference maker under center.
He wasn't that popular.
It is. I give a lot of credit to the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys yesterday, who came up with the game plan to get this quarterback relaxed, get him into a rhythm in a way that he can help the team, which is his job. And you know, I'm an Eagles fan. Of course, we all know that. You see my Eagles shirt. I'm not giving like praising Dallas or anything like that because that's not something that we do. But for sakes of me being here, a member of the media, I have to call a spade, like I always say, and I always give credit where credit is due.
Right.
So that coordinator, like I mentioned, called a good game, came up with a great game plan to keep that quarterback in a rhythm, get that quarterback in a rhythm rather, and make him comfortable in there. I don't think that's going to last the entire season, though.
Yeah. Play the divisional games too.
One of the other differences I saw from yesterday's game is, and I talked about it yesterday, it's like the one guy, Noah, I forget his name, Noah something, number 85, had some cohesion with that quarterback from playing on the second unit together. I don't think CeeDee Lamb is ready yet to be the number one, the everyday number one. He shows you flashes, but I don't think he's ready to be the everyday number one just yet. And then, like you said, the rest of those receivers that Dallas has are a makeshift core of receivers. The offensive line has some issues. We know what the defense is. We know about Trayvon Diggs. We know about Michael Parsons.
Big time.
We know what the big time players they have on the defensive side of the ball. Ezekiel Elliott is up and down.
I ain't heard from him all year.
He's up and down.
Last year.
You know, so, but again, the game plan and everything, coaching staff did a very good job as far as for Dallas yesterday. Again, I don't feel like that's going to be overly consistent. I think it may be one or two more games, but like I said, when they get into division games and when they get into some tougher opponents, we'll see what happens with Mr. Cooper Rush in that situation. Yeah, we'll see what happens then. You know, when things change, situations change, we'll definitely get to see what happens when that happens. But on the other side of the field, the Cincinnati Bengals.
They got problems.
You talk about Super Bowl hangover. They are right now the poster child for a Super Bowl hangover.
Them Rams.
Joe Cool Burrow has been sacked 13 times already this season.
Line is messy.
7 times in game 1, 6 times yesterday. The offensive line is terrible. The play calling is also questionable in my opinion. You've got arguably one of the best receiving cores in the league. Chase, Higgins, and I forget the other receiver's name. You got Joe Mixon. You have to mix it up. You have to get back to what brought you success last season and got you through the playoffs into the Super Bowl. And that may not be the case. The offensive line may be worse than it was last year. It may be a case, like always, where the NFL teams have film on you now. So they know how to adjust. They know how to game plan a little differently for you. So now it's incumbent upon Cincinnati's coaching staff to make those adjustments, to see what everybody else is doing, and you combat that. Like we say, it's chess, not checkers. You know, so you got to get in the film room. You got to make some adjustments. You got to do some things, because if not, it's going to be a long season. And at the rate that they're going, Burrow might not make it through the entire season.
They compare him to Andrew Luck. Somebody said he might be like another Andrew Luck.
Miz, what's going on, homie? Yeah, like with that, you know, he may not make it the entire season if they keep the offensive line keeps going the way it's going. He could very well end up being hurt. Before that. So that game yesterday, like I said, you know, it made, we all know
they were underdogs.
We all know what's truly going, and they always have a game like this. When things get to the point like they are now for Dallas, they always, I didn't think it was going to happen this first game.
They playing on house money.
But they always have a game where they kind of fool you.
Yeah.
And I think that game was yesterday,
Yeah.
where plays were made. It looked like some things were coming together, or you saw some signs where you could think that things may be coming together.
Right.
But then you got to take a look at the other side of the ball too.
Right.
The other sideline. Defense, like you look at Cincinnati right now, and like I mentioned, in my opinion, right now they could be the poster child for Super Bowl hangover.
Right.
But you look at them, and they are, and again, week 2, but there are some problems there.
Right.
Okay, and week 2, they look nothing like the team that went through the playoffs and went on to the Super Bowl last season.
They look different.
It looks like it's a totally different team. The names are still there, but it looks like it's a totally different team. They've taken a step back. And, I know every team that goes to the Super Bowl, win or lose, you have that hangover. I mean, look at week 1, the Rams, ring night, opening night. They get whooped, but then they come back and bounce back. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl, that first year after the Super Bowl, they didn't make the playoffs. Understandable.
It's hard, man.
It's hard. When you win, you have a target on your back.
Every team.
So even teams that are not in contention, they bring their A+ game if they have the opportunity to play against you.
Yeah, every week.
Okay. But we saw how the Eagles slowly, gradually bounced back. Got into the playoffs, got bumped the first round. Next year got bumped out the playoffs. It's a process. Things happen. And now they're on paper, projectedly back on the upslide again.
They might not make the playoffs.
Right now, with Cincinnati, it's tough because they look that bad right now. Currently, they look that bad, believe it or not. And it's kind of sad to say because of the success that they had last season.
Right.
So you kind of don't want to be like, it's tough, gonna be tough. Yeah, it's gonna be tough because the AFC is tough. And that division that they're in is tough.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, Baltimore.
So they're gonna have to get back to the drawing board very quickly. Very quickly. If not, it is going to be a very long season for the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, very, very long. If you don't believe, just watch the clips from last week. Watch the clips from yesterday. And the crazy part is, yesterday they had opportunities to move the ball to put themselves in an opportunity to win that game. Yesterday you saw Joe Burrow make mistakes that you're not accustomed, even though he's only been in the league 1 year. But what you saw from him last year, well, this is his 3rd year, right? Yeah, this is 3rd year. You saw some things from him yesterday that you can arguably or debatably say not accustomed to seeing him do. So, I don't know if it's a lot of the sacks that are on his mind.
It's the line.
But I know that getting hit that many times will do that too. I mean, getting sacked 6 times 1 week, 7 times in week 1, then 6 times the following week does play a role on your mental. It does play a role on you physically. So yeah, Cincinnati is definitely going to have to get back to the drawing board, figure some things out if they want to have any type of possible run this season, because at the rate that they're going, it's not, like I said, it would surprise if they keep going at the rate that they're going. 1, it would surprise me if Joe Burrow makes it through the entire season.
Will they make the playoffs?
2, it would surprise me if they make the playoffs.
Or both, all the above.
Yeah, so and then thirdly, it would surprise me if the coach doesn't end up being on the hot seat. I'm not going to jump and say get fired because he got him to the Super Bowl last year. So I think that kind of
they ain't
saved
gonna fire
him
him this year.
Yeah, they won't fire him. You know, but he could be
yeah.
he could be put in that hot seat discussion if things don't change.
It's how they finish the season.
If things don't change, he could be thrown in that hot seat.
Pretty much.
And you know, I don't believe they'll do it as far as fire him, but I think he would be put in that hot seat conversation. So next game we're gonna get to. Frank is gonna enjoy this.
Yeah.
He's gonna enjoy some of it, right?
Right. Some, not all.
San Francisco at Seattle.
I'm glad we destroyed them. I know that. Glad we got an injury to our
Already. Remember the last time Frank was here?
Get back.
And before that, I mentioned to you all.
Right.
And Frank was here, and Frank remembers I mentioned it to him too.
Right.
That with the situation with their quarterback, that they had created a problem that at some point during the season they were going to have to deal with in one way or another.
Right.
Unfortunately, it comes in week 2 via injury.
Right.
No one wants to see any injuries.
No.
Unfortunately, this injury is reportedly going to be a season-ending injury.
Yeah, he's going to have surgery Monday.
For Trey Lance.
Today. Yeah.
So as early as week 2, San Francisco 49ers had to go back to
Jimmy G. And Baldy texted me too. He texted me, he said, don't start it, Frank.
Yeah, he texted me yesterday.
He said, don't start it, Frank. I ain't say nothing.
He texted me yesterday.
Right. How you feel about that, man?
So, I think, in my opinion,
he's a seasoned vet.
The problem has enhanced.
You think so?
I think that problem is still going to be there. And again, like I said, I understand that Trey Lance is hurt.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to wash this season out as far as evaluation of Trey Lance.
Right. It's
so
tough.
now
Tough.
You have Jimmy G back in week 2.
Right.
Depending on how the season goes.
Defense.
What do you do at the end of the season? Going into the off season, do you go back and commit to Trey Lance as your starter?
Yep.
Or do you
stay
with Jimmy G as the starter?
When you give me the keys and give me the floor to talk, it's so simple.
So what do you do?
Even Kyle Shanahan said, even if they win the Super Bowl, they are contenders, and I'll tell you, we'll talk about that in a minute. One of my managers at my job said they're better with Jimmy G. I said, explain why. He said experience, which is true. He can check that box. Let me get to my point. Even if they win with him this year and get a parade, they made all them draft picks for this young man, and it's not fair to just go back to Jimmy G. They said they're going to trade him or not cut him, just try to get a trade for him, or just leave him on the roster. But it's a win-win for San Fran. He will not get that job back. He got it back now.
But herein lies the problem. I hear everything that you're saying.
Right. Due to the injury, that's
I hear everything that you're saying.
Right.
But let's just say, by some chance, Jimmy G has a really good season
and win the Super Bowl.
I'm not even gonna say win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying, just say he has a really good season.
He did it before.
Okay. It's not gonna be that easy.
Right.
I understand what you're saying, but it's not gonna be that easy.
Right.
To say, all right, Jimmy, very good season, great job. Right. You did this, you did that, you did that.
Right.
But we're gonna go back to the young boy. It's hard. It's hard to immediately say that. And like I said, the injury doesn't help any. The injury is like throwing a wedge in there.
Right.
So you still got that same problem.
Yeah, they already talked about that, and I was that. But when he came
I'm
back,
not worried about like what they talk about, but I'm just saying the same
he
problem.
He don't have to.
The same problem is still there.
Right. But that's why they like the situation, because they talked to both of them,
You said that before, but the same problem is still there.
Yeah, both guys.
But what do you do? Do you automatically give him the keys?
Yeah, you
coming off an ankle, coming off a injury, a surgically repaired ankle.
Yeah,
do you immediately?
They drafted this kid.
But okay, they drafted him, but he didn't show you.
Well, he got
like I said,
right.
Everything that they were saying in preseason, he wasn't living up to their initial expectations. Just like I said, just by chance, and it's a sad situation that the injury happens. So you don't have anything to evaluate him on.
Yeah. Fair game for fair.
Baldy's watching, so I'm hoping Baldy chimes in on what I say.
Yeah, let's see what he says.
So it's not that easy.
He made
like
it
I
tough.
said, coming on, the injury did it. Y'all had the problem anyway.
Right.
But the injury just, for pun intended, added insult to injury, if you will. Because, in my opinion, and this is just football, taking whoever team it is, whatever, basic football positions and everything like that, it's going to be very hard to automatically give him the keys.
They already gave him the keys.
It's going to be very hard to give him the keys back if Jimmy G has a good season.
Yeah,
but the thing I'm saying is because of the injury, and they don't have anything to go on where they could say, all right, we're going to give him the keys back and let's see what he does.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan answered that
let's
to the media already. Him and Giannis, they
he can say that now.
Yeah, true.
He can say that now, 2 weeks into the season. Yeah. But like I said, if Jimmy G has a good season, it's not going to be that easy to just go back and say, here, Trey, we're giving you back the keys.
Yeah, they said it. Put it this way, I'm with Chip. They won the chip.
Baldy.
I'm talking about
Baldy.
Yeah.
You tuned in. I hope you understand where I'm going. You're going to have to explain it to Frank. Because he's not understanding it the way I'm saying it.
Yeah, I'm understanding it, but they already made that announcement.
Right, but
he's
I know what they're
not
saying
the
now.
Starter.
Okay, but
saying them with Nick Foles and Carson Wentz.
Okay, and Nick Foles came back, and Carson Wentz was given a starting job. Right,
y'all drafted
but
him.
The difference was Carson Wentz had an MVP season up until he got injured.
Right.
Then Nick Foles stepped in.
Right. And
Trey Lance didn't have no season.
Right.
And now Jimmy had to step back in. And this is what I'm saying. Now you're at the spot. It's very easy for them to say, yeah, we're going to stay committed to him. But you got a lot to go on. You got to see how that ankle heals. You got to see if that ankle injury changes the way he plays.
You probably won't disagree with me again because I know you. But let's say, God forbid, if he was out the whole season, he was out for like 6 to 7 weeks. I'm gonna make my point. But Kyle Shanahan, hear me out. Kyle Shanahan said we're going back to him. We're going back. They said it. They talked. Every analyst talked about that. They said the fair game, and they're gonna have to go back to the young guy.
Baldy just said it.
He's the starter.
If Jimmy G has a good season and reached the chip, Trey Lance will be his backup.
So you think Trey Lance is gonna be the backup?
He gonna have to be. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like you said,
because why did he go to the draft again? Because
they don't have anything to base him on.
Because he can enhance the offense better.
How?
He's a mobile quarterback.
You won't know that now with the injury. Like I said, the injury made this problem even bigger.
No, he was a mobile quarterback.
Prior to that, he was.
Garoppolo can't move around like him.
But he's got a serious ankle injury.
Yeah.
That needs surgery.
He's a young kid. He's 22 years old.
Okay, but that's still going to change the way he plays.
We don't know that, D. We don't know that.
It's going to change the way he plays. It may not be a dramatic change, but it's going to change the way he plays.
Yeah, you think about that, but Kyle Shanahan should have, in my opinion, shouldn't have did that. He should
have not ran him up in the middle.
True.
Run him up the middle. He's a quarterback. He's a football player.
Yeah, it's true, but I feel as though he's
a football player.
Why did he should not design a play for him to go up in the middle like that? That's the goal line. That's just my opinion.
That's it. He's a football player.
Well, he's like.
But like I said, and like Baldy said, I feel like if Jimmy G has a good season, and Baldy went further than what I said. I just said a good season in general, not even talking about the playoffs. Makes that decision tougher.
You said you weren't there.
Baldy said if you make it to the chip. He said if.
No,
what I'm saying is.
Make it end with it. They said it. He's not going to be a starter again. He's not going to be a starter. Okay. Because they drafted this kid. He said, 3 picks.
All right, Baldy comes back. And he says he wouldn't have a choice but to be a backup. His injury puts him in a situation where his starting QB ability is in jeopardy. And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a win. That's why they kept it. It's a win-win.
So how is it going to be win-win when, like Baldy just mentioned to you,
I'm talking about to make your point clear.
His starting QB rating is in jeopardy. Ability is in jeopardy.
And I understand either quarterback, because this is about the roster, ain't really about.
But what if he comes back and can't do a lot of the things that you drafted him to do? Then what?
Well, Kyle Shanahan, they look like fool's gold then. to lay Fool's game.
And this is all I'm saying. All I'm
Yeah,
saying is
that was their guy. That was his guy.
All I'm saying is,
he
and
feels
what I'm saying is, it's going to be very tough to go through the season, depending on how the season goes, and then automatically say, yo, listen, like in my opinion, if anything happens, it should be an open competition in training camp. Because like I said, he's going to lose some of the stuff that he does because of the injury that he has and the severity the severity of the injury. He's going to lose some of what he can do.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
So again, that problem is still there. Like that problem is not going to go away.
That's a good problem.
It's not a good problem.
Yeah, it's a good problem.
How is it a good problem?
Because both of these quarterbacks are all they doing is just they like point guards. They just making sure they have a Super Bowl roster.
But you're still unsure about one of them.
Well,
so how is it a win-win if you're unsure about one?
Well, Kyle Shanahan, he already said that like.
But how is it? I don't understand how it's a win-win.
I'm trying to explain. He said that we drafted this kid because Garoppolo could not be a mobile quarterback. He is a top.
We gotta forget all that now. We passed all that. The draft and everything is done. He's on the roster.
Yeah.
His like Baldy said, and like I've been saying, his skill set is going to change. So now, how is it a win-win?
How is it going?
Because he's going to have a surgically repaired ankle.
Yeah, we don't know
playing quarterback.
So you trying to say he ain't gonna move around?
I'm not saying. I said it's going to change.
Like what's going to change?
It's going to be different. It's not going to be like it was before he got injured.
We're not in his head for one. We don't know that.
It's not. It's a surgically repaired ankle.
Yeah, I know.
For a person that plays quarterback,
who's 22 years old.
But he plays quarterback.
Yeah, right.
How much does he need to use his feet?
Two things. He needs to learn how to slide for one.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about physical nature, physics, body, anything.
We don't know that.
The position that he plays.
Right.
This injury is a serious injury for him. Yeah. And like Buddy said, his ability and possibly his career, because you don't know how he's going to come back. You don't know.
They ain't reported. They ain't report that.
They don't have to report it.
True.
I'm talking regular body and physical injury, physical nature.
Right.
It could. I'm not saying it will. It could.
You might be right.
But it's going to definitely change the way he approaches the quarterback position. Although he is still a mobile quarterback, it's a serious injury, and it's gonna have an effect on what he does. Baldy comes in. He says all QBs are drafted off potential. Injuries or poor performances becomes the evaluation for every young quarterback. He has a broken ankle, so the evaluation for the team is when he comes back. Do you put him in a position where he's running? This is what I'm saying. You can't risk that. But again, like I said,
first place, that's my opinion.
But you can't say that because you just said that he was drafted because he was mobile, but now you say he shouldn't have been running.
No, not in that situation. I feel as though he should have had him running. Like,
but you can't really say that because
that's a design play. Though,
but that type of injury, because he's a quarterback and he's going to move.
He got hurt in preseason last year.
But he's a quarterback. That type of stuff is going to happen, whether he ran up the middle. Could have happened when he ran outside. He's a running quarterback. So you always are at that higher risk. Just like the Eagles are at that higher risk of injury with Jalen Hurts. But what we're saying is his methodology is going to change. Like I said, it's a surgically repaired ankle.
With time will tell.
It's a surgically repaired ankle. And a tool that he needs to play his position.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Because he's an RPO quarterback.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, again, that now your problem is even more. I still don't see how it's a win-win. I still don't understand how it's a win-win for the 49ers at the quarterback position.
Yeah, because you have experience. It's win-win because Jim Garoppolo was awesome.
Baldy said it changes up why we drafted him. If he's no longer mobile, does that change our evaluation of him? I think it does a little bit. It has to change. If he's no longer mobile, then your evaluation definitely changes.
Well, we agree on that. We can agree.
It definitely changes.
We'll know that by the offseason.
Robert Reeves says, "Well, I think if Jimmy G has a great season, his trade value will rise.
That's true.
Because of the severity of the injury, they may not make the trade now.
True.
I see Jimmy as the future starter for the 49ers unless someone give them an offer they can't refuse."
I know. Because they say he agreed on him being the backup. He said, you know what? He was comfortable being a backup quarterback.
All right. You're saying that, and what I'm saying is but you're missing the point that everybody else is saying. He can say all that or whatever.
Yeah,
but y'all in that situation now.
Right.
But you're in a situation now where you still don't know about this kid that you drafted. And now it becomes even harder, like Baldy said, to evaluate this kid that you drafted because he got injured.
That could be true. That could be true.
That is true. Not could be. That is true.
Yeah, it could be true.
So I still don't see how it's a win-win.
So you trying to say he's going to come back? All y'all saying he's going to be a backup when he come back from a surgery next year. He's going to be a backup.
I'm not necessarily saying he's going to be a backup
because they get
I'm saying it's going to be hard to automatically give him the keys back when he don't play, when he hasn't played.
Only
I'm also
if they
saying,
win the chip, and they can win the chip.
But all I'm saying is it's not going to be easy to automatically give him back the keys to the truck.
I think so.
And I'm also saying that his game is going to change. It may not change a lot.
Yeah,
it may change a little bit. It may change a lot. It's going to change. It ain't no might. It's going to change.
Right. And he might think next time he runs his slide. Yeah.
His game is going to change.
That's true.
So now you got 2 seasons lost that you can't evaluate this kid. That again, like you said, you gave up all these draft picks for.
You talking about last year? He was Garoppolo was the starter. So
right.
He had a step
so now you got.
Yeah, he had
so now you got 2 years.
Yeah, he had a.
But you got 2 years.
He had to wait because the guy he was.
But what I'm saying is, but you got 2 years of lost evaluation time.
That's Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch.
You got 2 years of lost evaluation time.
Right.
And like I said, 1 year was just an unfortunate this year because of the injury.
Yeah.
But you got 2 years.
He has a lot of years left in his career.
But you got two years.
Yeah.
2 formidable years.
Aaron Rodgers stayed behind.
You got. We're not talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers stayed behind.
Yeah.
There was no switch in there.
Yeah.
But when it was time to switch, it was a switch, and that was it.
Yeah.
Period.
True.
And unfortunately,
they said the best way for a quarterback to play.
He didn't get injured.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers
but
didn't get injured.
the difference is
2
critical evaluation years have been lost. 2 of them.
I'm saying he's gonna start. They don't give him the keys.
2 critical years have been lost.
Yeah. Now he be injury prone and keep getting injured. Everything you said is true.
Baldy said, the 49ers are in a situation that we can't give Jimmy G up. We don't have another QB that's been molded in our offense. We're in a win now situation. Right.
That's why you said what's the win-win? They said it's
where was it a win-win?
Because
How
both quarterbacks. But
you only got one.
Yeah. Both quarterbacks either way could have led him to the Super Bowl.
But you only got one.
Well, he's going to lead to the Super Bowl.
You got one. Hear that,
and
Baldy?
He did it
said
already.
it, Baldy. You called it last night when you texted me. He gonna said it. He said it again.
What?
He just said Jimmy G gonna lead y'all to the championship.
He did it before.
And we're not talking about before. We're talking about now. This is what Baldy said to me last night.
They have a winning team.
Yeah, but okay, but
what's
again,
so wrong about that?
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
But where is the win-win? You still not.
They said
you still not proving to me where.
Because he has the experience. I said like 3 times.
Where's the win-win now? Now you got to deal with this injury. So where is the win-win?
Garoppolo's
that changes. The win-win changes it though.
How?
How does it not change it?
How's the injury?
Because you only got one quarterback.
So you trying to say if God forbid he get hurt, where we gonna go to?
Exactly. That's part of it. That's part of the equation.
For one, he already got hurt. He played hurt in the playoffs.
Where is it a win-win?
It's a win-win because he knows the offense.
But just because he know the offense, how is it a win-win? You only got one quarterback.
Well, a lot of quarterbacks in the situation.
But how is it a win? It can't be a win-win with these 2 quarterbacks when you can't evaluate one of them. One of them can't play. So it can't be a win-win between the 2 quarterbacks. This is what I'm saying.
No, the win-win situation as far as the team, any player can take them to the Super Bowl.
How?
They compare them both. They say, put it this way: if Garoppolo, let's say Garoppolo started and he got hurt, the young kid that came in and did his job because that's the guy he wanted to be an RPO quarterback. Vice versa. He started. Garoppolo, they were trying to get rid of him. Nobody wanted him. He said he understand.
That says a lot.
They said Garoppolo. He was like, you know what? I'm cool with being a backup because he can come right in there. He got hurt, which what happened, and he can lead the team to the Super Bowl. They all the whole team like both these quarterbacks. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's a win-win.
You don't have both quarterbacks, so it's not a win-win. You don't have both the quarterbacks. You lost 2 years of evaluation on your young quarterback. So where is it? You don't know what this kid can do.
But he might be a monster.
You don't know. But like I just said, you don't know.
Yeah, true.
So where is it a win-win?
Let's say Garoppolo win the Super Bowl.
But the unknown and one quarterback that knows the offense and the unknown doesn't make, in my opinion, doesn't make it a win-win. To me, that don't make it a win-win.
Well, in time will tell.
But I still don't see how it's a win-win.
We'll find out 5 years from now.
So what do you do with Trey Lance? You lost two evaluation years.
You keep saying, you say he's not going to get. Even Baldy said he's not going to be the starter. I think he's going to be the starter.
I don't think you can.
Only
give him,
if
but you lost two evaluation years. Two.
Well, it's not
2 seasons.
To his defense, it's not his fault. He got hurt.
2 seasons you lost. One season was his fault. This season he got hurt. What did he do last season?
Well, he was on the bench. He was
right, so that was part of his fault.
Garoppolo was the starter.
Okay, but that was part of his fault. He could have played.
How?
He could have made his way and played. If they wanted the RPO that bad, he could have played.
He's not the coach
and did that. But he could have made an impression. He could have did his job and made the impression on the coach to put him in the game sooner. Let's see, Baldy says, Frank, our team are in a win now situation.
Right.
That means this team is now or next year due to expiring contracts. A win-win would be if the kid was balling and we had Jimmy G as the backup just in case.
He didn't hear me either. The win-win is for the team. I ain't talking about either player.
But that's the same thing.
The win-win, talking about far as being a Super Bowl contending team.
How is it a win-win for the team?
Because both quarterbacks can lead them to the Super Bowl.
But you don't have. This is the same thing Baldy just said.
I'm saying when
listen to what he said. That means his team. He said,
I know what he said.
A win-win would be if the kid was balling, and we had Jimmy as the back. The same thing I've been saying for the last 10 minutes.
Well, it is still a win-win because Garoppolo, he led him to the Super Bowl before. It's no panic. They said in the media.
Okay,
everybody
no
said
panic,
in the media.
But
so you trying to say if he get hurt,
still not
you think he gonna get hurt too?
I'm not saying I don't want anybody. I'm not saying he's going to get hurt.
That's the only way it don't hurt.
But I still don't see. Like I agree with what Baldy said. If the kid was balling and you got Jimmy G as the backup, that's kind of the situation the Eagles had when they brought in Carson Wentz. He was balling out, and they had Nick Foles, and it ended up being a Super Bowl run, a Super Bowl win for them. It's kind of the same situation. Different talent levels, yes. But as far as
you're a Garoppolo fan,
I'm not even talking about the quarterback. I'm talking about overall team. Different talent levels, yes, but it's the same situation. It's a similar situation.
What happened?
To that.
What's the final score yesterday? I'm trying to make my point. The Niners.
They played Seattle.
I'm saying it's an NFL team. He came in
they
and
played
then we had
Seattle.
Okay, they played Denver next week. How about they crushed them?
They played Seattle.
Right, I understand that, but it's an NFL team. Cincinnati beat Dallas.
Right, they still an NFL team. You got to beat the team. But they played Seattle. But still,
he came in and did what he had to do.
But still,
not because of him, because of the team.
But still,
and they did it without Kittle. My point is, the win-win is Kyle Shanahan feels though he can win with any of these quarterbacks. That's my point.
But now you only got one.
It don't matter.
It does matter.
It don't matter.
It does matter.
He's not. How about he lead him to the Super Bowl and win?
It does. What if he get hurt?
He got hurt last year in the playoffs.
What if he get hurt? What if he gets hurt now?
He got hurt. He played hurt last year.
What if he gets hurt this year?
Well, the next man up.
Who's the next man up?
I don't know the guy's name. He like him. Be honest.
My point exactly.
Yeah, but that's every team, D. That's every team.
My point exactly.
That's every team. So what's your point?
My point exactly is I'm still trying to figure
Aaron
out.
Rodgers, the Packers are one.
I don't see how it's a win. I don't see how it's a win.
He's the best backup quarterback in the NFL.
Right. But who?
Garoppolo. He was the starter.
I could give you that. He is arguably.
That's what I'm talking about.
Baldy says we got one QB left, no backup. We are not in a win-win. We're not in a win-win situation. If Jimmy go down, we have no QB. Let's be clear, we have more rushing yards than passing yards. So again, I'm not sold on Jimmy G, period. He's Alex Smith Jr.
We all not. Y'all convinced me about that. I don't know that. I'm not saying he's Johnny Unitas. It's the system. It's a system thing.
But
and he's Kyle Shanahan drafted a quarterback. He wanted to Patrick Mahomes to extend them plays.
But you still, as a 49ers organization, have that same problem that I said from the very beginning.
Let's go back to day one.
What do you do at the end of the season looking in the training camp? in my opinion,
He gonna stick with the kid though, Dave.
you can't automatically give this kid back the keys.
Yeah, you know why? I'm gonna talk truth and tell you why.
In
He
my
gonna feel
opinion,
like a fool. He gonna feel like a fool. Give all them damn
and
kids.
that sometimes that happens. But
That's
in
what
my
he said.
opinion,
Right.
you can't give this kid back the keys immediately. Now, I'm not
felt
saying
those
no. I'm not saying that you can't eventually give them to him, but you can't immediately
How long
give
you
him
think
back to
show
him.
I'm gonna be quiet.
Because he didn't
How
play.
long? How long you think he should sit on the bench?
I don't know how long. They don't know
That'd
how
be like
long.
4 or 5. That's unheard of. 4 or 5
They
years.
don't even know how long.
That'll make them look even worse. Him and John Lynch, like, because of
Okay.
injury, we ain't gonna
and
put him back. We don't put him out there no more.
Sometimes that happens.
That
but
is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. And that's
Who
the point
does
I'm
that?
trying to make. The 49ers are currently looking for an additional QB
They're
as we
not gonna
speak.
do that,
right.
man.
They're looking for another quarterback.
Yeah, 'cause
right.
that other guy.
But
yeah, true.
in my opinion, you can't give this kid automatically. You can't give this kid.
Well,
back
I'm
the
with
keys
you. They should let him play it out. They should let him play out.
You overlooking the injury. The injury played a big
You
part.
said it yourself like
the
20
injury made this problem even greater.
You think they should just play it out?
The injury made this problem even greater. You can't play it out now.
You just said that. You said in training camp, they should compete for the job.
That's next year.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. So that's the same thing I'm saying. The same thing I said. Yeah. You can't give
this kid,
but you keep saying they're going to give him the keys back. In my opinion, you can't immediately give him the keys back because you don't know what he can do or what he can't do.
I think they should compete for the job.
Now you saying they can compete.
Yeah, but they should.
But you said they should give him the keys back.
said he said he's going to give him the keys back.
But you agreed with that 10 minutes ago. Now you say that they should gradually, or they should compete, because I said they should compete. I said that's how I feel because of the injury, and I said it's unfortunate that it's an injury that came up. But again, you can't foreseeably give him the keys back immediately, automatically, when you lost 2 years of evaluation.
Now he go back on his word. He said that in the beginning. He said that.
Of course, he can say that now. Yeah, but you can't do that. Realistically, if you in a win-win now, that like Baldy said, that means this year and next year.
I picked them.
If they're not gonna beat Buffalo.
What, they going to Super Bowl?
They're not gonna
beat
Buffalo.
So.
They're not gonna beat Buffalo.
Now I think they're gonna beat
But here's the thing. Again, got that same problem. The problem ain't going nowhere.
And Jimmy got a chip on the shoulder
gonna be
too.
And I said this last time you said, I said that too.
Yeah.
Now Jimmy got a chip on the shoulder.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Not the fast forward to the Super Bowl real quick. Now here's the thing. I was nervous. Let's say they made the Super Bowl with Trey Lance, right? He's a puppy. He's a baby. I've been nervous because Josh Allen's a beast, right? Here, stay with me. Now Jimmy Garoppolo. I didn't say it. My manager said. I work for FedEx. 2, 3 in the morning. He said, Frank, and I'm not a big. Y'all convinced me that he was not trash. Well, he wasn't. We couldn't get over the hump. He said, you know what? Y'all have a better chance to win Super Bowl because he has experience. He has experience. He has more experience than the kid.
I still don't think he can get over the hump.
Super Bowl and NFC Championship game, he has a lot of experience. Okay. He has a team too.
I still don't think he can get. I still don't think he's the one to get y'all over the hump.
Well, I'm with you. They Kyle Shanahan. That's why they drafted the kid. I'm with you.
But the kid can't play.
So basically, you trying to say we ain't gonna win the Super Bowl?
I'm saying
that's the way you're talking. Like we can't win the Super Bowl either one.
I'm saying, like I mentioned, my point is, I don't think Jimmy G is the one that can get y'all over the hump, and you can't.
What about how you feel about Trey Lance?
You can't properly evaluate Trey Lance because he hasn't played.
So how about he played the whole year and went to the Super Bowl?
We talking about how about. We talking about what he can do now. He can't play.
You were saying that before he got hurt.
Brock Purdy is our only other quarterback on the active list. He was the last person drafted in the NFL draft. I think we should pick up Cam Newton. Yeah, Cam Newton is a good pickup.
I'm actually I didn't hear that.
Yeah. No. But again, like I said, I don't think Jimmy G is the quarterback to get y'all over the hump.
I agree with you. And that's the only thing I agree with.
And you can't really add Trey Lance into the mix because he hurt, and you don't have no evaluation on him.
So I don't agree with that Cam Newton thing. I don't.
So you can't say, in my opinion, I still don't see how it's a win-win. I still don't see it.
We gonna win with Garoppolo. He's not Johnny Unitas. We gonna win. We won one.
I don't think he's the guy to get y'all over the hump. He proved that he got y'all to the Super Bowl, but he didn't get y'all.
Yeah, so that's true. We don't know that. We'll find out when we go to the playoffs. He beat Aaron Rodgers. He should beat the Rams. But it's not him, it's the team. Okay. He's understanding. That's the most important position in sports.
All right, he said. Frank said, so who should y'all pick up then? You're not in agreement with Cam Newton.
I don't know, not him. I mean, keep him on. I don't know.
Who else?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't want to say Cap, but you know that the league. That's a long story.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna pick up Kaepernick right now. You know,
cool.
I don't even think Kaepernick really wants to get back in the NFL. He says he does, but I don't think he truly wholeheartedly wants to get back in. Yeah. But again, like I said, I just don't.
He played with injuries. He did it last.
I just don't see Jimmy G as the one to get y'all over the top.
How about he do it? Trent,
if he do it, then
here's the thing. Trent Dilfer won the Super Bowl. No, why couldn't the Super Bowl? I'm trying to say quarterbacks is not that great like Montana and
that's still
Brady.
not going to change my opinion of me thinking that Jimmy G is not the one to get y'all over the hump. That's not going to change my opinion.
He might win the Super Bowl. He got a roster.
He might.
And then if he won the Super Bowl,
he might not. I just don't think he's the one to do it. If you, Baldy said, if you're going to say you don't want Cam, then you got to give me somebody.
I don't know who's out there. Cam can't read defense. I don't use the word watch there. He can't read defense. And he plays like, in the media, you can tell in the media, he plays like he don't care anymore.
So you don't have nobody?
Not Cam. Not Cam. Who's out there?
Not Cam.
You got
y'all
Jokers.
Gonna go with,
you got Eli.
So y'all gonna go with Brock Purdy.
You never
rather
know.
than go with Brock Purdy.
You never know. You never know.
Baldy, are you hearing this? Are you hearing this? I know you are, but are you really hearing this? He gonna go with Brock Purdy.
I did not say that. I was just joking with you.
Really?
I did not say that. I did not
Brock
say Brock
Purdy. So again, I say, unfortunately, 49ers still have the same problem. Also, what compounds it even more is the fact that the young kid got injured. So again, you got 2 lost evaluation years. And all I'm saying is, in my opinion, if I'm the 49ers, I can't immediately give him the keys to the ship right back after an injury. When in essence, I lost 2 years of evaluation.
We'll find out.
I can't. I'm just saying that's my opinion. I can't do it. Baldy also said they got a running back issue as well.
Well, they all stay in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Elijah Mitchell. He's coming back.
So here's the thing. So now, since Baldy brought that up, teams can sit back and know that you guys are going to throw the ball.
Yeah, they knew that last year. What happened? They
last year?
They always went to the Super Bowl again. They beat this team 6-0.
What happened last year?
What happened last year?
What happened last year?
The Rams won.
Right.
Yeah, we beat them like 6 out of 7 times. They barely won.
Okay, it don't matter what 6, 7 times. It matters what happened the last time y'all played.
Mr. Pick 6 guy.
What happened the last time y'all played?
Well,
they beat y'all.
Yeah, they beat us.
Right.
This is the most important
right.
time.
So
ain't gonna happen this year.
Again.
That's last year.
Yeah, but this thing the running backs.
That's
like
last
I said,
year.
but okay, but
we got Wilson Jr.
It makes a difference.
We got Mason.
It makes a difference when teams can sit back and know and prepare for you, knowing that you're going to throw the ball.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not. All I'm saying is it makes a difference, and it makes game planning a little bit easier when you look at teams and you realize, oh, they got to throw the ball.
No, he's still running that ball. And Baldy should know. He should be showing.
I'm not saying he's not. Like you missing him. All I'm saying is it makes it easier, and it makes it difficult on the offense to execute those plays consistently when teams know that you are going to throw. So they're playing you to throw the ball. So you might have success, but it's going to be difficult, and it's not going to be as easy as you expect.
Dick, that's so you don't follow our team, and Baldy can comment all you want. We run the football. We led the league we were like number 2, 3 in the league. Kyle Shanahan runs the ball.
Your own somebody that liked the team just as much as you. You said that y'all running backs hurt, and all I'm saying is,
we got a lot of running backs.
I said all right, I'm gonna run the ball. All I'm saying is it makes a difference when you come off appearing that you're gonna throw the ball a lot more. Teams prepare for that.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna be as easy as you thought.
Well, running the ball?
To throw the ball, or run the ball.
They got skilled players and all
right, but you missing my whole point. It's a difference now when teams can game plan when they know that you're going to be heavy concentrated one way or the other. It makes a difference. when teams can game plan for that.
Well, Jimmy G play action, and he didn't play action anymore.
But that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is it makes a difference how teams can game plan for you when they see or they feel that you're going to be heavy one way or the other. They can game plan
they balanced,
for it.
Man. They balanced. It was balanced yesterday.
I'm not even talking about they're not balanced. All I'm saying is in general.
But that's every team. Yeah, I know that.
That's why I said in general. But you the one that
right.
keeps saying they gonna run the ball and they do that. I'm saying in general.
You said pass heavy.
I said in general.
Right.
With hurt running backs, you tend to shy away from the run a little bit. But what I basically said was, in general, it makes it a little bit easier for teams to game plan against you when they know or feel that you're going to be heavy concentrated one way or the other. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
That's it. And again, y'all still got that problem.
What problem?
I don't know how the problem or what y'all gonna do what y'all gonna legitimately do at y'all quarterback position.
No, that's a lot of teams.
No, it ain't a lot of teams. It's y'all. Yeah. What other teams right now?
Well, a lot of teams. Aaron Rodgers get hurt, they're done.
But what other team? What other team has that? What other team has that issue right now?
No, I'm talking about as far as your quarterback get hurt, you're done. I'm talking about the problem that's surrounding the 49ers. Hold on. Baldy said everybody game plans to your weaknesses. Eventually your QB is going to have to throw that ball. Play action only works if you running the ball effectively. I know everybody.
That's partly how we lost. That's partly how we lost to the Rams.
Yeah.
They had to rely on Jimmy G.
Yeah, when he threw that ball, he did a dumb pass. See, that's the problem. He do dumb stuff at the wrong time.
What's the problem?
I already know that. I already know that.
Frank Baldy, you hearing this? I know you hearing this.
Hear what?
It's the same thing I just said. And the same thing Baldy just said. Now is he does bad stuff at different times. Like I said.
He do. I didn't say he was Johnny Unitas.
So like I said, y'all still got that same problem at quarterback. That no other team has in the NFL right now.
You know what's funny? Just to answer the question, we can just move on. He was good for the Niners, right, for the system. A lot of teams and a lot of media, hear me out. They say he's not a great quarterback. Nobody wants him, but he's good. He's good for the team.
You still didn't answer my question.
Answer what?
No other team in the NFL has the same problem that y'all have right now with the quarterback position.
What's the problem?
Who's going to be y'all starting quarterback definitely moving forward?
We don't know.
Right. So no other team in the NFL has that problem right now.
So you trying to say it's going to be a quarterback controversy?
It already is. It's the same thing I've been saying. It's the same problem y'all had that I said
so
y'all was going to have.
So you don't care what the coach and the general manager will say. They're going to be controversy. They already agreed they were cool with everything.
Well, that's who he is. Why you keep bringing up Johnny Unitas like he was a great QB? But no other team. But it's no other team in the NFL that has the same problem that y'all have currently right now.
I don't think it's a controversy.
I'm not saying it's a controversy. I'm
saying
it is a controversy. Yeah, but I'm saying no other team has the problem the issue that y'all have at quarterback right now.
That word is good. It's a good problem to have.
No other team. I don't think it's a good. How is it a good problem?
I'm not. I didn't really pay for being analyst. That's why.
How is it a good problem to have?
Because either one can lead them to the Super Bowl.
You can't say that completely now.
Well, that's true. It's kind of true. How about this happen? You probably laugh. Let's say Jimmy G leads the Super Bowl and then get rid of him. Here, stay with me. And then Trey Lance, not the first year come back, not the second. In the future, do the same thing. We're gonna record the same conversation.
Where's the conversation?
They both were good quarterbacks.
But you still didn't answer my
mainly
question.
Trey Lance left.
You didn't answer my question.
You said we're the only team in the NFL
that has this quarterback problem.
Well, probably so.
But probably so. It is so.
Well, as long as Jimmy Garoppolo leads us to the Super Bowl, that's all that matters.
You still stuck on him leading y'all to the Super Bowl?
It's possible.
It's all anybody can lead any team. Jalen Hurts can lead the Eagles to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna brag about how great he is. He's not a great quarterback. He's a system dude. He's a system dude.
So, what about Trey Lance?
We don't know.
What do y'all do with Trey Lance?
We don't know. We ain't gonna cut him. We ain't gonna get rid of him.
But you keep saying that they said they're gonna give him the keys back, and you in agreement with that.
I'm a fan of my team, and that's what
you in agreement with that. I don't.
That's what Kyle Shanahan said.
Now
we go back and he lied.
Said we don't live in the world of ifs.
Well, we lied. He lied.
Okay, but again, like Baldy said, and like I said, You lost 2 years of evaluation.
Well, he's the coach.
Do you
We're not the coach.
Put yourself in the coach's shoes.
Put yourself
in the coach's shoes. You
lost
2 years of evaluation.
Right.
You got to go back to your backup. That was your start.
Right. And you know what? I got confidence you leading us to the Super Bowl.
The end of the season.
Yeah. Chip.
You going into training camp.
Yeah.
We ain't even talking chip. We just talking end of the season. Period.
I'm going to
immediately go back to the young kid.
I draft. All the draft picks I gave up to him.
Why?
I just told you.
Why?
I'm giving up all the draft picks, and I feel as though he extend play. Garoppolo cannot do that. He said it like a million times. It was all in the media. Now he continue getting hurt. I gotta bite that. It's gonna set me back. I just answered it.
Cool, Baldy. You can go ahead. So, but I don't get that. Just because he can extend plays, a lot of quarterbacks that can extend plays.
Yeah.
Why?
Garoppolo cannot move.
Why do you, as general manager or head coach, give the keys to a young player that you have not evaluated in 2 years? You just give him the keys. Coming off of major surgery on his ankle. Why do you give him the keys immediately?
Well, I feel like he drafted him. He already said it.
Why do you the coach, why do you give him the keys
I give
immediately?
him all them picks.
What do the picks have to do with it? You ain't got no evaluation on the quarterback you getting ready to get the keys to.
When he said you rolling the dice, I'm the same way. I'm rolling the dice with him.
But you ain't got nothing.
Now let Garoppolo, put it this way, Dave. We're
not talking about Jimmy G. We're talking about Trey Lance. You ain't got nothing to base it on.
I'm trying to lead up to that. Unless he extend, like, you know what, he gave, how old was Garoppolo? Like, not even 30 years old.
We're not even talking about, I'm asking you why
he invested a lot. He invested a lot in the kid.
You can't give him, it's a franchise, and you can't give him the keys like that. When he didn't play 1 year, Jimmy G won the job the first year. Then he gets hurt. So you don't have no evaluation.
Okay, you just going by he didn't finish. That's not fair to him, man. He didn't play the whole year. So you're not just going to sit him.
So it's the same way it's unfair to Jimmy G if you automatically give him back the keys. And Jimmy G played a half decent season.
They can play it out.
How was that fair to Jimmy G? I don't even like Jimmy G.
How
was that fair to him?
I don't like him either.
If he plays and has a decent season, how is it fair to him that you automatically get the keys back to the young kid that got hurt? And it's unfortunate that he got hurt.
They did not extend his contract. They didn't want to extend his contract.
But we're not talking about how do you give this kid the keys?
They said his ceiling's not that high no more.
How do you give this kid the keys though?
They said he do RPOs. Is an RPO league.
But you can't tell that. His RPOs ain't gonna be the same coming off a surgically repaired ankle.
We don't know that.
Oh, we know that.
We
know that.
We don't know that.
A surgically repaired ankle.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
How can you say we don't know that?
We don't know that.
How can you say it's not going to change?
We don't know that. We're not in this body. We don't know that.
How do you know it's not going to change? How can you sit here and say it's not going to change?
We don't know that. You might be right. I might be wrong. Or vice versa. We don't know that.
It's going to change.
Well, his thinking is going to change. He's going to have to slide.
Okay, and that's going to change the way he runs the RPOs. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's true. You might be right.
It's going to change. I'm not right. It's a matter of physics.
Well, he should have ran him outside. That's just my opinion.
It's a matter of physics. Yeah. It's going to change. Yeah.
So you think that 22-year-old man going to be slower? You think he'll be slower?
Probably I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to change.
Yeah.
I can't say what's going to happen, but it's going to change because of the severity of the injury. It's going to change.
Yeah. We'll find out.
It is definitely, it's going to change. I mean, I don't care how you look at it, you don't look at it, you don't want to see it. It's going to change. Yeah. On to week 3's picks. Before we get to week 3's picks, again, Monday Night Football closing out week 2. Tennessee at Buffalo at 7:15, and my Eagles are at home at the Link tonight.
I'm going to the Vikings.
Go up against the Minnesota Vikings. Starting week 3, we move to NFL suspends Mike Evans, 1 game. Thursday, Pittsburgh at Cleveland.
Tampa-based receiver?
I'm going with Pittsburgh on that game. Next Sunday, Houston at Chicago.
I got the Bears.
I'm going with Chicago. Las Vegas at Tennessee.
I got
going with Tennessee. Kansas City at Indy. I'm going with the Chiefs. Like Buffalo over Miami.
That's gonna be a good game.
I like
Detroit, you don't know. Detroit been playing.
I like Minnesota over Detroit.
I'm
not sold on Jared Goff. I like Minnesota there. I like Baltimore over New England. I'm going to go with the Jets over the Bengals. I'm going with the Eagles over Washington.
I got Cincinnati.
New Orleans over Carolina. The Chargers at home over the Jags.
That's what I got. I got the Rams over
the Cardinals over the Rams. Seattle over Atlanta. Tampa Bay over Green Bay. Denver over San Fran.
We won that game.
And then I got the Giants over the Cowboys next Monday night.
Yeah, Denver not beating us. Russell Wilson, man.
Yeah, the Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles play tonight, and then I'm not sure. I gotta check the schedule for the next Monday night games. Yeah, two Monday night games tonight. So, folks, thanks for tuning in as always.
Good debate.
Got a lot to talk today.
Right.
Again, Monday Night Football tonight. 2 games. Tennessee at Buffalo at 7:15. Minnesota at Philadelphia at 8:15. In the Major League Baseball schedule tonight, the Twins and the Guardians, the Mariners and the Angels, the Astros and the Rays, the Cubs and the Marlins, the Tigers and the Orioles, the Nationals and the Braves, the Mets and the Brewers, the Giants and the Rockies, the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. As always, folks, enjoy your Monday. Enjoy some sunshine. Be great on purpose. You know where to find me on Instagram and Twitter at sportsrap_D. On Facebook, Sports Rap Podcast is the group page. The webpage, sportsrapradio.com. YouTube, Sports Rap TV. And right here on Mondays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on heat100radio.com. Enjoy your Monday, folks. We will see you all next week right back here in the studio.
Bring it
keep it 100 every day. Shot Timmons, need the facts and stats, who do you call? Bringing the fire, bringing the heat, we bring it to y'all.